Okay. Hello, hello. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay. Hello, hello. What is come again? I didn't say anything. Okay. Hello, hello. What? Say anything. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, now good. Everybody has spoke, prayer book, short, refuge, and okay, now good. Foreign measurables. Everybody has spoke, prayer book, short. I think so. Page 11. Yeah. Okay, now good. Foreign measurables. Everybody has spoke, prayer book, short. I think so. Page 11. Yeah. Okay, now good. Foreign measurables. So, are you trying to recording? Prayer book, short. Huh? I think so. So why did it comes right now word? Okay, now good. Foreign measurables. Old. So, are you trying to recording? See? Prayer book, short. Huh? So why did it comes right now word? Okay, now good. Old. So, are you trying to recording? See? Huh? So why did it comes right now word? Okay, now good. See? Old. So interesting.
Repeat 3 times.
I think so. I know that they're going to record. Let me see. Now it's good? Okay. Page 10. Right? Huh? Once Tibet and twice English. Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonan La Chanjo Parado Dane Josen Lage Jenso Jimbe Sonam Je Lola Benjere Sanje Jovarasho.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha excellent, I take refuge till I come to full awakening.
By the measure of my right revelation, may I achieve the Buddhahood for the being benefit. In the Buddha, the Dharma, the assembly excellent, I take refuge till I become full awakening. By the measure of my deed of generosity, I achieve the Buddhahood for being.
Manunga Sanyambe Samjanta Dewa Dan Deve Dambrai Urje Dongra Dan Dongra Ge Chodan Devrai Jurai Dongra Mebe Dewa Dan Mendewa Jurai Nye Jatan Nye Nandrebe Tanyola Nevrajoji.
May all mothers
sentient beings, may they be free from suffering and cause of suffering. May they not be separated from happiness, free from suffering. May they abide equanimity, free from attachment, aversion to near or far. May all mother sentient beings equal to space have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from happiness, free from suffering. May they abide equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and
Okay. I would like say some few words, kind of introducing Khenpo, and I think so many of you probably know. I mentioned several times already. In fact, he is my first Buddhist teacher or Buddhism teacher in the India, and also he is first among Khenpos, among the generation of the Khenpos in Tegun Kaju lineage in exile in India, and also he studied both of Sutra and Tantra in Tibet, first monastery in the Zamye monastery, and then in India. Study not like 2-3 years. According to the monastic way and systematically, the curriculum and system. Not only for 5, 6, and 7 years, and more than decades. So therefore, he is truth, the qualified teacher and real teacher. So because why I'm saying here is that nowadays, people saying the dark age, whatever. And the White Lotus I mentioned several times about Monty Bank. Many people picture probably knows. Physical Monty Bank and the mental Monty Banks nowadays and on the world. So therefore, those both Monty Banks is very dangerous and risky if you're not really carefully. So therefore, most important thing, this issue is a samsaric and a nirvana situation, not only for one life. So therefore, most important thing is we need to have correct and truth teacher, not only for today, anytime, anywhere, the most important thing. So therefore, I would say, so this moment, whatever you will receive, the teaching and empowerment, both of them are complete and meaningful teaching. So if you keep and follow and practice, and they're really, really meaningful things. So therefore, I received from him, I think so maybe more than 4 years in the India, from Shantideva the text, and some the Meroveh texts. Before he left monastery, I think so maybe 2001, right? So before that, many years. So therefore today we are fortunate enough to great opportunity to listen teaching and receiving Vajrayogini empowerment. Right? So these 2 days, I'm no need to say much about that because mostly like American people are very good to listen to teaching, really focus and carefully listen. So, and then if you completely understand meaning of the empowerment and the meaning of the teachings, it is really helpful, useful the entire your life. So therefore, just a very, very short introduce. It's okay? You understand what I'm talking about? Huh? Okay, that's good.
They say Khenpo, mud bank. Many people don't know that word.
What?
Mud bank. Some people may not.
Monty Bain.
Mud bank. It's the British way of saying charlatan. So there are many false teachings out there, especially in a sort of cultural.
So everybody know, right? Dharma teacher or any teacher, not only for Dharma. Dharma means more Buddhist. So Christianity, Hinduism, Dharma teachers, one of the Monty Bain, one of the doctors, the Asia or West, it doesn't really matter. Many of the doctors is a Monty Bain. You know, you load the Monty Bain in dictionary, you will understand. Okay? So therefore, very important. Many people think, and that this is very good Lama, good teacher, and good, really, really high, and the people follow, and people jumping there. So therefore, the teacher introducing or teaching to you, go to the nirvana. This is serious. If something wrong, it's huge problem. Both between, not only for disciples. So therefore, big responsibility, really. So now I'm just in a way say not kidding and not joking. This is serious. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So this is sometimes I'm just talk very long, and then a good situation. Today is the Khenpo's time to teach here. I have opportunity every single Sundays, like hours until I'm tired. So today, this weekend and Khenpo's turn. So therefore, thank you very much, Khenpo, coming here and teach the people. So now page number 12, the course to teach and the teaching the course. Sumje namje zamba dan oye jeda wa chejun du mo de ba ye chujen kolo kordu so.
Sentient beings, they are intelligent. Turn the Dharma wheel of the vehicle, the great and small, of the common and the super. Womichuje Porando to Susan Jagunjo, Rasi Chugun Sotanza, Zava Lamana La Guja, Torje Chanja Delena Rota, Mabamela Chujekam, Pomotoba Javan de Gomba Gaju Lamana La Guja. Good evening. Thank you for having me here. And now Karen was putting me too much pressure. So. Yeah, my nervous is like 50 degree now. It's become 100 degree. So I don't know how it come, but I will try. So tonight's subject is for four moods of the Vajrayana. Actually, the four moods of the Vajrayana mean everything. You have to talk whole Sutra and Tantra complete. So it's impossible to can cover everything in like a short time. I became monk since like 1984, and I started studying actually Dharma since 86. I'm still learning, so it's take long time. And my this long is nothing when compared to the Buddha's life story. If you look at the Buddha's life story, took him 3 great eons. So it's just take time, but it's gradually, slowly, we can get there. So that way, I don't think so can be. Even myself is from these 4 moods of Vajrayana, I don't think so. I learned 10%. So it's particularly when it comes to the 4 moods of Vajrayana, and a lot of them are related to the actually realization. So that take, until you become a Buddhahood, you have to learn continually. You never stop learning until you become a Buddhahood. The reason you see all the deities like Jeresi, Tara, still they have Lord of the Family. So Lord of the Family means actually teacher. So that is what the Lord of when you receive empowerment, you said adorn with the Lord of the Family. Yeah, have you heard? That means that actually talking about their teacher. So and even there are 10 Bhumi Bodhisattva, they need a teacher. So the reason we never stop learning continually until we become a Buddha. So but whatever I learned in last few years, or whatever I learned, I will try to share with you. Then you can catch whatever you want, because in the prayer here said have to teach according to the mental capacity of sentient beings. I have no idea your mental capacity, so I cannot teach you what you really need. So you have to catch what you need. Make sense? So whatever you can practice that. So I think now you have a more what called the right to choose. So because we are in the land of the democracy. So this one is Buddha's teachings. We normally categorize into the 2 called the Sutra and Tantra. So Sutra means the kind of abbreviate. Meaning of the Sutra means the abbreviate. The briefly give instruction on the basic subject. Like in the Sutra, they never go detail any subject. They never go to deep level of a profound part of the teaching. It's never share in the Sutra. So if you want to learn that one, you have to go to the Tantra. So these 2 are so then based on that reason is called the Sutra. It means the abbreviation. Teaching on the abbreviation, the abbreviation. So that is I think basic meaning is talking about the Sutra mean. In Tibetan called the Do. Do mean the like briefly. Dosam mean the briefly. And then come to the Vajrayana, as we now call the Vajrayana. Actually, it's in the Sanskrit, it's called the Tantra. Tantra. Tantra have 2 meanings. One way, we said Tantra and Mantra. So Tantra means the protect the body. Tan means the body. Tara means the protect, like liberate your body. Mantra means the man means the mind, and the Tara means the liberate the mind. So like the Tara's name, liberator, goddess of the liberator. So it's come from there. So this is called the Tantra. So Vajrayana is called the Tantra. But also another way, Tantra means the continuing. Like there's one teaching called the text called the Uttara Tantra. Have you heard this one? Uttara Tantra is talking about the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is a continuing. Something is a continuing, never stop. Because when it comes to our mind is not continuing. Mind is only short period of time. I don't know how nanosecond mind is, because every nanosecond our mind change, thought change. So that way, mind is, maybe there's a relation between the past to present, present to future. There may be relation of the habitual tendency, but most of thought are change. Past thought is no longer exists in the present. Present thought will be not there in the future. So that way called the three time of the mind, we normally said. So that is showing us the conceptual mind is always be changing. They never be continue. Make sense? So there's something continue. That we call the Tantra, Uttara Tantra. Uttara means the supreme one, highest one. So there's one nature one, something is a continuum, that we call the Uttara. So mind is not Uttara. Mind is a conceptual, ordinary, deluded, ignorance, confused. That is what mind's name. So the Uttara means the pure one, supreme one. That is something continuous. That's called we call the Buddha nature. In the Mahamudra, normally we said, ground Mahamudra, path Mahamudra, resulted Mahamudra. So this is similar. This one is also Tantra Minda. So there's a Tantra Minda. One way is mean the continuity. Tantra means the one way is a relation. Past, present, future is have a relation. And Tantra means the gathering. So those three are basically called the Tantra. Like this house is a gathering. That way, like how many years exist here. Our body is a gathering. So since our birth to until death, we carrying this body. It's a gathering, but continuing. It's not one, So similarly like that. So this way is called the Tantra. And this Tantra also called the causal Tantra, path Tantra, and resulted Tantra. So causal Tantra, causal Tantra means this continuum, whatever cause meet, become that one. Like normally we call the samsara and nirvana. Yeah? What does the samsara mean? Cause of samsara meet with this our mind, the nature mind, or can say this, that nature is meet with the cause of samsara. What is the cause of samsara? It's a afflictive emotion and negative karma. When our nature of mind is corrupted with these two, afflictive emotion and negative karma, we become samsara. So who is the creator of our suffering? It's these two. Lots of time we blame to someone else, All our suffering we blame to someone else. And if you cannot blame to someone else, then you said, I'm sure someone did that one. You try to assume. But actually, main cause of our suffering is our own negative emotion and negative karma. Because if you don't have a negative emotion, negative karma, you will never facing the suffering. No one can make you suffering. So this is like Buddha said one time, the Buddha was walking on the street, and some people come to scold him, saying really bad things. And Buddha was smiling, really no response, no reaction from that. And he walked gently, and he did whatever he needed to do. Then he went back to the meditation hut, and he just, calmly meditating. And those really surprised those people, said, we are scolding you this long, you have no response. Why you not reacted? They got a prostrate with that, So Buddha said, I will ask you one question. If you send the prasad, what called the post, like you send in the post office, what called this?
Email.
Yeah, not email. Post. Post. If you send to someone post, and that person not accept, what's going to happen?
It comes back.
It's a return back to you. That we call the return address. So this Buddha said, if I don't accept all your scolding, it go back to you. So that is our reaction is the negative emotion. Because of this reaction, then we created the anger, hatred, jealousy, and do bad things. That's called the negative karma. So if we don't react that one, if we don't respond that one, then no one can make us suffering. So that way, actually, fully, our responsibility of suffering is our own, behaviors. We created this suffering. We are the responsible for ourselves of making this suffering. So that's called the samsara. So why is it called the samsara? Because it's a continuing. You get angry Because of that, you are angry, you do some stupid, silly things. Because of that silly things, you become consequences. When you consequences, your intellect minds become weak. When you're suffering, especially the consequence of suffering, your intellect minds become really dull. You cannot distinguish what is right or what is wrong. That's called the ignorance. Because of the ignorance, then you have again negative emotion. So this continuing, that's called the secular existence. So that way, when this continuing of our nature of mind is meet with the called the truth of the suffering, which is the afflicted emotion and negative karma, then it becomes samsara. That way it's called the causal tantra. So this longest we have this cause, we will be in the samsara continuing. This continuing is become a causal tantra, mean. Make sense? So if we want to be free from samsara, no one can give you the freedom from samsara except yourself. No one can make you the samsaric except yourself. So this that way is called the tantra, mean the continuing with the causal tantra. Then one day you fortunate enough, you meet with a lama like a Khenpo and give you instruction. Oh, now I understood what is the samsara. Samsara means the suffering. If I want to be free from suffering, I have to renunciation. When I have a renunciation, who can give me the totally free from suffering? It's three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. I need to take refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Okay, what is Buddha mean? Buddha mean the teacher here. What is Dharma mean? The Dharma mean the teachings, actually instruction. What does Sangha mean? The support of a community. Oh, I need those three if I want to be liberation. So you have to rely on the three jewels that is called the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Then once you rely on the three jewels, particularly Dharma, then you follow to the noble path. Right view, right thought, right speech, right livelihood, and so, this noble path. Then you find the path to the nirvana. So then your continuing is become a nirvana. So that way I said, when you are discontinuing, meet a cause to the nirvana, truth of the path, a noble path, then you will become to the nirvana. That's continuing. That is nirvana. Get to the nirvana. So this way, causal tantra means whatever cause meet with this tantra, this continuum, it becomes that way. Then second one is called the method tantra. Method tantra means now what is the method to liberation? We want to go to the path, to the nirvana. What is the method? In the Vajrayogini, method is three. Rapini empowerment, liberation they have called basically instruction and transmissions. So called the empowerment, transmission, instructions. So empowerment means that you receive through the ritual. There's a empowerment have three types of empowerment actually, called the causal empowerment, path empowerment, result empowerment. Cause empowerment you receive from someone, ceremony. Someone perform you, that's called the cause empowerment. Then once you receive that empowerment, you have to continually practice that. That's called the path empowerment. Continuing is a really important, continuing. So once you continuing whatever you receive, one day you will get there, called the nirvana. That's called the result empowerment. So how you practice the continuing, what you receive, how to practice is rely on the transmission and instructions. Here, transmission is in the Tibet, a little bit changed slowly. Now it's called the reading transmission, yeah? Actually, transmission is not about the reading. Transmission is giving you all the information. You try to make you understand. Like what is mean the generation stage, what is mean the completion stage, what is mean the refuge, what is mean the Buddha, what is mean the Dharma. All the understand of the meaning of the teaching is called the transmission. Then instruction is now, once you understood, now Guru give you instruction to how to practice. So in the Tibetan called the T. T means like a mother take the child in the market. What happened when mother or father take into the child to the market? They hold the hand, make sure it's not lost. So that's his teacher. Teacher is the mother, you are the child. That's how you're walking on the path. That's called the T. Which is in this day called the instructions. So that way, empowerment give you all the blessing of the ripening ritual. Then transmission make you understand. Then once you receive the transmission of understanding, then you have to put on practice. That's called the instruction. So this way, when you this are called the method. Skill, with this method, because when we want to be nirvana, but just praying alone cannot reach to the nirvana. One time, Buddha is sitting on the riverside, and Mahakashyapa came. That time, Mahakashyapa became Buddha's disciple. He was already spiritual practitioner a long time. But he met with the Buddha. Buddha is much younger than actually Mahakashyapa. But Mahakashyapa met with the Buddha. The Mahakashyapa really, want to talk to him. So Mahakashyapa said, how to reach to the nirvana? And Buddha asked him to, if you want to cross this river, how you do? And he said, if a river is not too deep, I can walk. If a river is deep, if I know how to swim, I can swim. If I don't know how to swim, I can, take boat. The Buddha said, you don't want to swim, you don't want to walk, you don't want to take boat. So still impossible. So this is what we do now with prayer. We don't practice. So this is like you just go every day side of the river, knee down, put the knee and saying, please take me to the other side. So like we basically do that one. So Buddha said that's not going to reach there. You have to walk to, you have to go there. So how to go? So Buddha said just simple is to follow 3 trainings: training of the morality, training of the samadhi, training of the wisdom. Then you will get there. So this 3 training is the method. With this method, then we can reach to the nirvana, or you can say meet with the result. That's called the resulted tantra. Resulted tantra means then achieve the Buddhahood. Why is Buddhahood is called the tantra? Even achieve the Buddhahood, continuing. Dharmakaya is a continuing, Sabokakaya is a continuing, even the Nirmanakaya is a continuing. Dharmakaya is a continuing because we know that Dharmakaya is never changed. Sabokakaya is a continuing. There's some saying is a Sambhogakaya never change. Some saying is even the change comes. Sambhogakaya, one Sambhogakaya took Mahaparinirvana and another Sambhogakaya come. But those all the Bodhisattva cannot notice it. The change comes. Replace one come, nobody notice. So there's 2 basically said. This is we don't know those things out of our concept. But Nirmanakaya we know. We know Nirmanakaya never continue. Because Buddha passed away. Long time ago, more than 2,500 years ago, Nirmanakaya passed away. But how he continues, his enlightened activity will continue. When Buddha was getting age, Buddha was dying, Ananda was really sad. He said, in the future, no sentient being will go to see the Buddha. He was worried about the other sentient beings. Buddha is taking Mahaparinirvana. Now in the future, no one will see the Buddha. And Buddha said, don't worry about Ananda. I will become form of teacher. Like we have holiness, we have a Rinpoche. Those are great, truly Buddha manifests as a human body to teach us. So Nirmanakaya manifestation never stop. Sometimes they manifest a form of teacher. Sometimes manifest whatever sentient being need. So that way their manifestation never will stop. That way Nirmanakaya is a tantra, mean the continuing. So in Latin activity will be continuing. So that way called the resorted tantra. So this based on this, then we call the tantra mean in the Vajrayana. Then the Vajrayana mean the undestructible. There's two kind of Vajra, relative, conventional Vajra and absolute Vajra. So in the Buddhism we call the 6 extreme and 4 moods. 6 extremes. 6 extreme according to the sutra and the tantra is a little bit different. Like in the tantra, what is the extreme of conventional truth and relative truth? For example, in the tantra, conventional truth mean, like for example, when we said this is a Vajra, this is a conventional truth of Vajra. Okay, then what is the absolute truth of the Vajra? Mean the undestructible nature. No one can change the nature. Also, generation stage is a completion truth. And completion stage is the absolute truth. So conventional nature and absolute nature is also divided in this way. So the Vajrayana is a little bit different from the 6 extreme. I think it's called the 6 extreme, yeah? 6 extreme, or what? There's another, sometimes said 6 limited. Yeah, so conventional truth, absolute truth, word beyond the meaning, word without the beyond meaning, like and literally, non-literally. This is, I think, is called the 6 extreme. So in the Vajrayana, this have a little bit different than Sutra traditions, but so there are many of those talk like this. And so I think this is what we're talking about. Now, this continuing tantra in the Vajrayana is also, sometimes it's called the 3 class of tantra, sometimes it's called the 4 class of tantra, sometimes it has a 5, 6 different number. Then genuinely, commonly, it's called the 4 class of tantra: action tantra, performance tantra, yoga tantra, anuyoga tantra. So what is the difference? Those 4 tantra. So when come to the tantra, what is the distinguishing Vajrayana from the sutra is the deity yoga. Like normally said, distinguishing the Vajrayana and sutra is empowerment. When involved with the empowerment, it's called the Vajrayana. Without the empowerment, it's called the Sutra. But empowerment, also within the empowerment, they have a 4 type of empowerment: vast empowerment, sacred empowerment, wisdom empowerment, fourth empowerment. Vast empowerment is make distinguishing from the Vajrayana, from the Sutra. So what is the vast empowerment? Mean that your 5 aggregate transforming to the 5 Buddha. Your 4 elements transform into the 5 female Buddha. Your Dadu and Ayadana transform into the Bodhisattva. Your all the limbs to transform into the wrathful. That is what is mean the Vajrayana, mean that you receive empowerment of vast. So what is the relationship in the each class is a little bit different. That makes the distinguish of the what is mean the action tantra, what is mean the performance tantra, what is mean the yoga tantra, what is mean the anuyoga tantra. So basically, action tantra is mostly related to the physical body. Out appearance is most important for the action tantra. Mostly focus on the out appearance. So then performance tantra is kind of like both out and inner important. But then come to the Yoga Tantra, in is more important. So this is come gradually. Okay, first have to focus on the action tantra, then performance tantra, then yoga tantra, then anu-yoga tantra. So how to divide it in this for the generation stage of the deity yoga. So when come to the action tantra, what is the relationship you and deity? You never become actually deity in the action tantra. Between you and the deity's relationship is like king and subject. Deity is higher being. You are the lower being, like king and subjects. You never become a deity. But the Tibetan Buddhism, we don't have a really action tantra. All the action tantra deity we practice as an anu-yoga tantra. You see the medicine Buddha, you visualize the medicine Buddha. You do the Tara practice, you meditate Tara. A lot of those, belong to the action tantra, but practice as an anu-yoga tantra. I don't think so. Any Tibetan Vajrayana, they practice as a action tantra. I don't think so. But that is what is the relationship between the practitioner and deity within the actually action tantra as a king and a subject. You are the subject, deity is the king. Then when come to the performance tantra, you and deity is like a brother, sister, or a best friend or whatever. It's kind of the same equal level. You visualizing as a wisdom samaya beings, and deity as a visualizer as a wisdom beings, and each other facing. Deity is in front of you, you are here. So like kind of like a relation is like a brother, or like brother, sister, or kind of like a same level of. That is how relation. And when concluding, the wisdom not dissolve to you. Wisdom go to the dear Buddha nature, you become yourself as a dissolution. That is a part of the performance tantra. Then anu-yoga tantra, yoga tantra. In the yoga tantra, there's have a wisdom and samaya beings. Wisdom being and samaya being practiced as a similar like a yoga performance tantra, but when in the conclusion, dissolution, then it's called the completion stage. And at the completion stage is called the equipoise meditation. At the equipoise meditation, you and deity become one. So that is finally. Then anu-yoga tantra, from the beginning to wisdom and beings, always be union. Wisdom and samaya beings, always be union. So it's not just have to wait until the last minute. So this is a little bit gradually become a more and more change. Make sense? So that is a always be this. I think that is make the Vajrayana different than Sudra actually. In the Vajrayana, you transform to the deity, you become the deity. Mahamudra cannot distinguish in Vajrayana and Sutra. Mahamudra is just name of the Panchana Paramita. Different name. Yeah, Panchana Paramita is called the Mahamudra. Panchana Paramita is called the Dzogchen. Panchana Paramita is called the middle way. Each give them different name. But it's just based on the Buddha's teaching on the Panchana Paramita. That, like, if you understand the Heart Sutra, you understood the Mahamudra. So that way, the sacred empowerment or wisdom empowerment or for the empowerment cannot distinguishing from the Sutra and Tantra. Only first empowerment, that's a vast empowerment, because it's involved of this deity yoga practice, the generation stage and completion, particularly generation stage. Make sense? So that is how we follow to the practicing, and this in the Vajrayana basically dividing into this way. Now, this if you want to understand the meaning of the Vajrayana, then you have to understand the 4 moods. And this four mood is, I think, one of the detailed explanation by the Chandrakirti, and it's called the Davatavas. It's also is a commentary on the Guya Samaja Tantra. In this Chandrakirti Guya Samaja Tantra, and one of this commentary also have a really detailed explanation, deeper explanation on that. Is one of the Saja master. What I know is one of the Saja master. Now I forgot his name again. I have a what called the mini Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes I forget the name. Sometimes I use the wrong name. so actually there's the detail, but also mentioned in the Chakra-sambhavara. So since we're going to be a Vajrayogini practice, we need to talk from the Chakra-sambhavara. So Vajrayogini is a part of the Chakra-sambhavara mandala. Okay, so also Chakra-sambhavara Tantra, root Tantra, mention about this, how to understand of the full mood of Vajrayana. So this first called the mood of the literal, Yigitsu, mood of the literature. Yeah, literature means that basically is you have to understand the meaning of all the grammars, language. You without the understanding of the language, you cannot get there. Yeah, so I think this is the lot of time we Tibetan have this issue. Tibetan faith is really deep, but understand is really weak, because I mean before the 1959, 90% of Tibetan people are uneducated. Because that way you have not good access to the learning Dharma actually. So you have to learn the language, whatever language like these days. You have a really great access. Actually, more freedom in the Western than Tibetan, because we Tibetan not allowed to read lots of texts. In the Kagyuba traditions, until you finish to the older retreat, you're not allowed to read a lot of those texts. But you have a free on the library everywhere. You can translate now. There's on the YouTube and everything. For you have I think you guys are really lucky one. Have a better access than we do. We don't have those. Really, we're not allowed to read those books until you finish. Particularly in the Kagyu lineage, we call the lineage of the blessings. Why is called the lineage of the blessings? Because until you finish the refugee practice, from the Ngontu, for example, they are not going to give you the instruction on the Vajrasattva. Once you finish the refuge, then you finally receive the transmission instruction on the Vajrasattva. Then you have to do the Vajrasattva. Once you finish the Vajrasattva, then you receive the instruction on the mandala. That is gradually have to go through all the fivefold path of Mahamudra and 6 yoga of Naropa. Until that, you're not allowed to read actually. Okay, so that is it. But you have a really better access of those. So you have to learn in the language, grammar, all those the meaning of the word. I think that's called the mood of the literature, Yigitsu. So because when it comes to the actually in the Tibetan, and language is similar like Sanskrit. Grammar is really important. If you don't know the grammar, you really easily mistake. Grammar and context. Because as Tibetan words, a lot of them are also abbreviate. So that abbreviate have to understand what meaning is showing from there is through the context. Through the sentence context, then you have to understand the actual meaning. The word literally cannot understand, word by word. Very difficult. So this is, I think, all this is talking about basically called the mood of the literature. Mood of the, sometimes it's called the mood of the letter. And also, one of the instructions said, this means also like When we practicing deity yoga, have you seen this? From the palm become the lotus, from the become the moon, from the ram become the fire. Yeah, so they always have come syllable. Also, they say some instructions said the mood of the literature mean that those syllables. Yeah, so we have each one have their own meaning of the why it's using that syllable, related to this object. So it's like I think those lot of those syllable is a similar like English called the what called initial. Yeah, initial. Really similar initial. Like palm, why is a palm? Because of Padma. So it's just a lot of them as a really have to do with meaning is a initial kind of similar. Yeah. So this is I think basic briefly can talk as a mood of the word or mood of the letter or mood of the literature. Then second one is called the mood of the general. So this is important. Mood of the general. I think Khenpo told me he already teach you 14 root downfall in the Tantra. So second one said if you violated the Buddha's word, you become a root downfall. So what does the Buddha's word mean? All the teachings. Because sometimes people have this kind of idea, Vajrayana can do lots of things that Sudra cannot do. Vajrayana practitioner mean they can have consort. Vajrayana practitioner mean they can drink alcohol. Kind of like some kind of like a, have a special permission to do those things. So that way you cannot, contradictory with the sutra when you're Vajrayana practitioner. You cannot violate from the sutra. One of the it's not related to the Vajrayana, but it's the Mahayana teaching. If you read the jewel ornament, Khenpo is teaching jewel ornament. There's a Kambhopa said, why Bodhisattva need the training of the morality. The morality is basically teaching from the sutra or Hinayana. Yeah, Bodhisattva is not a monk. Most Bodhisattva come lay form, and the morality is talking about the monastic rule, precept. What called this?
Precepts.
Precept. So the Kambhopa's answer was, why Bodhisattva need the precept of the monastic, even you're not monk or nun. They say, the monastic precept teach you how to stop harming other sentient beings. Because if you not stop harming other sentient beings, you have no chance to become a Bodhisattva. Because Bodhisattva means to help other. If you want to help other, first step is to stop harming. Make sense? So that way, this have to be gradually. Doesn't matter. It's Buddhist teaching is really gradually. We call the Sharvaka vehicle, Pratigya Buddha vehicle, Bodhisattva vehicle, Vajrayana vehicle, Tantra vehicle. All these are gradually, not observable. Some people think it's just, I'm a Vajrayana practitioner. I have nothing to do with you. You are Sutra, So that is, I think, misunderstood. So generally, mood of the general mean that you have to be, even you are a highest Tantra practitioner, you have to follow all the general teaching of the Buddha. Like Pema Sambhava said, my view is higher than sky, but my ethic is subtle than flowers. Flower? What called it?
Flower.
Yeah, flowers.
Dust.
Yeah. So that is showing us how important to have this general understand of the Dharma for the Vajrayana practitioner. Then, so that way also in the Vajrayana you can see Larsa Sadhana, you can see the four immeasurable. Like a Chakasambhavara, for example, Chakasambhavara, four Dagini, Chakasambhavara, they are the symbol of four immeasurable. Love, compassion, joy, equanimity. Also, they are a symbol of four mindfulness. Mindfulness of a feeling, mindfulness of a perception, phenomena, mindfulness of a mind, and mindfulness of a body. So those all the symbol of that is become that form of a deity. And also there are many in the deity yoga practice you can see the three gate of liberations. So many teaching that is mostly shared in the sutra you can find in the tantra. One way is to say that those are all is a mode of a general. But then when come to the Vajrayana itself, then all the for example, action tantra, each one alone have three families. Action tantra called the Vajra family, Lotus family, and Tathagata family. So the Tathagata family is a common or a general teaching to the Vajra family and Lotus family. Lotus family is a common or general teaching to the Vajra family. So that is how gradually. Then all the teaching on the action tantra is a common to the performing tantra. So this is gradually going on. So that way, when you get higher, then the lower one is becoming general practice. So that is how we build come to the Vajrayana mean, mood of general mean. Okay. Then a third one is called the mood of hiding or mood of secret. Certain things have to be kept secret because it's easy to misunderstand. And some are actually naturally secret. So you have to show some symbol or some kind of like a similar way to. It's called the symbolic wisdom. So one is called the secret mood of hiding. Yeah, mood of hiding. Baby suit. Yeah, mood of hiding. Can say secret. Yeah, so it's just like for example, like a union. It's a hiding of the desire. So it's because when people misunderstood that one and they took the literally ordinary way, and they become big problem. Recently, I saw one. I really shocked for me. I'm sure maybe you saw this one too. Some kind of group practicing called the Yabun Yoga. Have you seen this?
No.
Really? I mean, they're not naked. Okay, they're wearing clothes, but they like possession of the Yabun, and they call the Yabun Yoga.
That's a little too literal.
Yeah. So
Too easy.
yeah. So certain those things have to be really secret. Yeah. So I think maybe those are basically like I heard one Western scholar said, why Vajrayana is secret because it's naturally secret. Until you understand the depth of the meaning, always a secret. So then you misunderstand. When you misunderstand, what happened is then deity is become attachment. Deity is become aversion. Like when you practice in the union deity, then you become literally desire, attachment. Then what happened? Jiddu Sumgö said, deity practice with the attachment will be reborn in the hungry ghosts. Deity practice with the aversion will be born in the hell. Deity with the practice of the ignorant will be born in the animals. If deity is gone through the poison, there always be misery. So do not mix with the deity with the poison. This is a quote from the Jiddu Sumgö. What call nyawanyas. So like when we're practicing wrathful, bodhicitta, compassion is really important. Like a Gaja Rinpoche, every time giving teaching, bodhicitta. He always said bodhicitta is the most important. Every teaching he mentioned that one. Because if you lack of bodhicitta, if you practice the wrathful, you have really good chance to reborn in the evil spirit realm. So that way, you cannot be. Those are really hitting, sacred. Make sense? So that is called the mode of abiding with the sacred or hitting. Then another one is called the kunzo is a hitting by the relative or conventional of illusion body. Because absolute is beyond the illusion. But illusion is a symbol of absolute. It's called the symbolic wisdom. Like a Tomo meditation. It's the Tomo, through the Tomo meditation to you experience the four joy. That four joy is a symbolic wisdom. So that actually wisdom is hidden. Until you break the door of that hidden, you cannot see that one. That is called the realization. Until you have a truly realization, it's become hidden. It's naturally secret. We haven't seen that one. Make sense? So that way, so I think it's also there's called the three samadhi, hidden of the three samadhi. Three samadhi mean the basically samadhi of the preparation, samadhi of the actual path, and samadhi of the performing of the deity yoga. This all is hidden, really sacred. The inner true authentic or ultimate meaning is hidden. So that way mood of a hitting means that's that one. Then what is the mood of the Thartu, how to translate? Ultimate, yeah, mood of ultimate. So mood of ultimate have two: illusion, luminosity, and union. Luminosity is a mode of the completion, complete mode of a complete path, and union is a mode of a complete result. So luminosity and the union, there's a kind of four type of unions. Like union of the empty and appearance, union of the bliss and emptiness. So those is absolute. You reach this union is not same as what we think the union. Beyond our concept of the union. So this is what is the complete of explanation of the Vajrayogini is with these four. That way it's called the four mode of Vajrayogini. So then, so that is that way. I think this is it. And on another one is also, I think this is not have to do directly related to the four moods, but I think one is we call the Vajrayogini as in the Tantra practitioner. Two aspect is really important. One is called the great compassion, one is called the wisdom. When supported by these two both, then it become complete of your practice, whatever you do practice. So we can go to tomorrow in the Vajrayogini teachings. It explained it's always be these two union. Like for example, every deity yoga practice, you see at the beginning of the generation stage, there's called the mantra. Sometimes you see the mantra Om Subhoshita Savatama. Sometimes see the mantra of Om Shunyata Jnanabheta Sukham, Atma Sukham, Om Shunyata Jnanabheta Atma Koham. So that kind of a mantra comes. That mantra is actually completion stage. Within the completion stage, you have to practice the generation stage. That way union is come there. Then when you treat the completion stage without the sign, on the Mahamudra, that Mahamudra have to be luminosity. That luminosity is also related to the generation stage. So in generation stage, union of the completion stage, and the completion stage support or together with the generation stage. Those two cannot separate. So that is called the union completion of the. So that way wisdom and method always be have together. So that is I think briefly, I can say what is the four modes? Four modes, M-O-D-E-S. Yeah. My pronunciation is not good because I started learning English age 32 or 31. So from the ABCD, even I failed with the ABCD. Really, that is true. This is in school. In the Khenpo got the college degree. I have not, nothing. So that way my pronunciation is really bad. And somebody said I should listen my own talk so that way they can hear I can hear my own mistakes, but I really don't like my voice. I really don't like, so I never listen. So I have this big problem. Thank you. Thank you. Yes?
George, hang on a sec. George, for the benefit of our online people.
Yeah, we can now. If you have a question or you have a comment or you have a suggestion, please.
I only have a comment.
Thank
no
you.
question. I have never heard an explanation of the first two truths given so viscerally. It was like being hit in the gut with the truth.
Thank you.
I have never heard anything like it, so you have nothing to apologize in your English.
Oh, thank you. You make my nerve come down a little bit.
Anyone else?
Nothing to be afraid of here. We're all friends.
Thank you. Okay.
I could ask.
Or you might want to be afraid of him.
No,
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I just wanted to thank you because, I think as Americans, we really share a certain kind of a experience and approach to Dharma. With the Tibetans, like you said, they have this tremendous faith. Their George Washington was a monk, Going back to Julius Caesar, he was a monk. I mean, their whole tradition is there. So it's kind of like for us, we have that kind of confidence, say in Albert Einstein or Darwin or, these great intellectual figures, scientific figures. So I can't tell you anything about their teachings, but I do have confidence that they were something valid there. And so that helps.
Yeah.
Because there's one great scholar who passed away. His name was Edward Kanze. he studied with Dejung Rinpoche in the Sakya teacher way back when, and before that, he actually in Germany in the 1930s, he learned Sanskrit and he translated all the Perfection of Wisdom sutras. So I think he was quite a remarkable man, but he really didn't have any teachers until later. But he tried teaching. So my daughter has a degree from University of California, Berkeley, and he was teaching at Berkeley. And he said sometimes he would try to explain to his students there, kind of like the greatness of the Buddha. But he said it was such a challenge in America because we're also democratic. Everybody has the same level of understanding, which isn't true, but we kind of have to believe that. They were democratic. They were, egalitarian. They were hedonistic, very much into just pleasure and the pursuit of happiness, so to speak, but not the deep happiness. And he said, so he would try to explain things to his students, but in the end, with his Americans, he would give up. And he would tell them, you just have to understand what the Buddha taught. and they're anti-intellectual. That's the other thing he said, the anti-intellectual. So there's a danger in America because then we go to one extreme. We become extremely intellectual, but we don't have any realization. We just have and we get confused with our concepts because we don't have the basic confidence. It's like the Dharma. And so I think for many of us here, we kind of share a kind of similar experience out of our life experience. Really no cultural real support, maybe in general ways. But we come across the Dharma and you hear especially about the First Noble Truth. And when you realize that everything is kind of like dissatisfactory and you're experiencing that in your life, but then the Buddha is saying that's not the end story. There is an end to suffering and there's a path. And so slowly, we start to study and practice. And again, difficulties come up, but you meet other people, you talk, So this is really wonderful because when it comes to the Tantra, it's so profound and so vast that and there's so much misunderstanding about it. Like you said, we're so funny. We have Garchen Rinpoche when he was younger would come here, and we would have 200 people.
Yeah, no.
And yet you see, I saw some ads some years ago in a big New York magazine. Someone was teaching sex tantra. And he was charging like $5,000 for one day, this kind of thing, because we have confidence in that somehow. And I always wondered, where are all the people when Garchen Rinpoche is here? But you slowly learn how rare the Dharma is. And we don't give ourselves that confidence that we have really understood the validity of it, the purity of it, that really it's like one Japanese teacher said, people don't naturally take refuge in the three jewels, but in the end, it's the final refuge of all. So everything starts making sense. So we just thank you so much for this introduction because it's just, we learn more all the time, and you're talking about that it's a gradual, is very, it's very strengthening for people.
Thank you.
Because there are all sorts of crazy ideas out there that people have, and we don't know, and we're influenced by it. But like Khenpo said, there are just many mountebanks out there.
I didn't know that word.
No, Khenpo has many, we call them $100 words. But nonetheless, it's really true. And so, to find an actual refuge with teachings that you can rely on, you have to do the work, but at least, you can have a little confidence. So thank you.
Okay. If you have any question or yes, somebody have to break the ice.
I have, Khenpo says I have academic questions sometimes, so this is an academic question. So because I was having a discussion with someone outside of here a while ago, and I was trying to talk about the Vajrayana in comparison to, say, Zen and etc. why I was attracted to it. And he said, "Oh, this is too obtuse. This is too much information, and these others, this is more direct, da 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 da." And for a second, something happened which is rare. I was at a loss for words. But I wonder what you say to something like that. I'm sure you have so much experience teaching. And so how do you counter the argument, when we talk about inner, outer, secret, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and in the Theravadan tradition and in the Zen traditions, it's just pretty straightforward. Yeah. One of the arguments I make is that, the Vajrayana talks about enlightenment in this lifetime. That means a lot of work. You can't just read it and then become a Buddha. But I would love to hear what you have to say to this question of the Vajrayana being a little too dense, a little too much to take in at one time.
So it's just like this, when you crossing the river, you have to rely on the boat. Yeah? If you let go the boat, what happened? Yeah. But once you cross the river, you have to let go the boat. If you hold the boat, river will carry you continually. You never get to the other side. So Zen is the other side. Once you get other side, you have to let go the boat of the method. Until you get to the other side, you need the method of the boat. Make sense? So in the actually Vajrayana, there's called the generation stage and completion stage. Completion stage is the Zen. The Zen is a Japanese language. In the Sanskrit, originally it's called the Gyan. Gyan becomes Zen. It's because the language, when travel, change the pronunciation. Yeah, so Gyan is the Sanskrit language. So Gyan is come originally Dhyan, So the Dhyan means the pay attention, awareness. That is what Zen means. So reaching that one, you need to use the method to reach there. So some people, many lifetime, they already practice many lifetime. They don't need the method. Directly can go to the Zen. It's called, in the Tibetan, called the Chicharwa. I don't know how to translate in Chicharwa. It's a kind of like a simultaneous?
Simultaneous.
Yeah, simultaneous, I think. Can say that? Yeah, instant. Okay, instantaneous. Then another one is like the ordinary one is gradually. Gradually, you have to if somebody cook for you, you instantly taste in the food. But it's not always a come. So you have to plan the food, you grow the food, then harvest the food, clean the food, then cook the food, make the food, cook the food, then finally you taste. So that is gradually. So this is that way. Individual is different. Some people it better work with instantly, like a Zen. It's you wasting your method, like a Miller ever said. When you meditate on the Mahamudra, do not engage in the physical activity. Will it disturb your non-conceptual wisdom? Yeah, non-conceptualized wisdom. So once you reach there in the Mahamudra tradition, we're not allowed to read the book. We're not allowed to perform any of those, lots of those. Then you just focus on nature of a mind. That's called the Zen. But reaching there, we have to do Ngondo, deity yoga practice, all those, as a retreat have to do complete. So that is that way. It's an individual is different. Some work better with the instantaneous, directly reach to the final that one, and some better with the gradually. Make sense? So everyone is not same. Each individual have their own conditions. So based on your condition, you have to use that method. Like some people have too much emotion about attachment, then better meditate on the ugliness. Some people have too much emotion of angry. Better meditate on the loving kindness. People with the angry one, if you meditate on the loving kindness, your anger will increase. Sorry. People with the angry one, if you meditate on the compassion, your really angry increase. People with the attachment, if you meditate on the loving kindness, your attachment increase. It doesn't work. So based on what kind of condition you have, and use the method which is better for you. Make sense? So that way, have lots of different individuals. So everyone is not same. So I think that is I can say that much. Otherwise, both are not mistake. Zen is not mistake. Zen is taught by Buddha. Buddha taught, Mahakasyapa took until come to the Buddha Dhamma. So Zen is a totally authentic lineage. Same thing as a Buddhism, as a Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana or all. So each individual is a condition is different. Some people better have a cold weather suitable their body. Some people hot weather is more suitable. Make sense? So all is different. So that way, I think you cannot just give one answer to cover everything. Make sense? Yes.
I think you were touching on it. I had read somewhere. I mean, I'm not coming from any academia. It's just the school of uber hard knocks. Basically, I was just reading somewhere that Tibetan Buddhism encompasses all the three vehicles. Isn't that right?
Yeah, three yana. Yeah. So then, some ritual there are so much you're called the elegant ritual. Can say elegant. It's so much neat ritual. Some doesn't need. So it's just like if you become like a Milarepa, your life is becoming like a Milarepa. You have only one set of clothes and eating only nettle, then you don't need the elegant of the shrine. No, yeah, elaborate, yes. So if you need all those organic food and also all the favorite expensive favorite those all you need branded clothes and expensive car, living really nice place, then your shrine must be made like that. So it's because sometimes I hear this one say, oh, we are Dharma practitioner, we need a symbol. Symbol have to start from our own daily life. Because this one is a method. Elaborate is a method. More you elaborate, better for you. But if you are truly, absorbed practitioner, then too much elaborate become a distraction for you. So some people need to rely on the elaborate practice. Some that's better for you. Some people have to be stopped, elaborate one, because that is becoming distraction. Make sense? So yes, then you said, yes, Tibetan Buddhism, we have to learn all three yanas. Like when we become a monks, teaching, practice, everything have to do Vinaya. Nothing have to do Mahayana, nothing have to do the Vajrayana. It's totally separate. Tibetan Vinaya is a little bit different than Theravada one, because Vinaya have 18 school. Tibetan one is one from the 18 school, and Theravada is another one. So that way a little bit different. But so otherwise it's just when come to the monastic, Vinaya, it's totally same as a Theravada. Then when come to the Bodhicitta, it's exactly same as a Mahayana. There's nothing mixed with the Vajrayana. So we have totally three separate of subject. We have to learn that one. So that way Tibetan Buddhism is a little bit headache. Sometimes, too much. So becoming, so then because of the Vajrayana, we have to learn all those rituals. Too much headache. Take whole life for the learning ritual. So it's like you need, like, if you really want to learn completely, Tibetan Buddhism, totally, maybe you have to be exceptional one, or you need like 4 or 5 lifetimes. Really. So another one is on the Buddhism is a beauty part. You see, within the one practice, within the one subject, everything in there. One time, His Holiness Dalai Lama is giving teaching on the Omane Bemehu. He talked 2 hours. In his teaching, his topic, the topic is Omane Bemehu, and when he's talking, he basically cover all the Sutra and Tantra teachings. So within the one area, you can find everything there. So that way is we call the Jishi Kunjul. It means that one learn, everything is liberate. So that is a beauty part of not just Tibetan Buddhism, beauty part of the Buddhism. So something like that. Okay, then this one.
Page 28. Ready? Okay. 谢家跟随滚见觉觉等着那老王都这公吧，人间不接单把身的吧，协助多上公白人觉觉。English.
Teaching of the great Degomba Ranashiri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of the Independence, continuing increase in maturity and practicing meditation until the end of the samsara.
Okay, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. 10 o'clock. Khenpo and I need to arrive here a little bit earlier because to do something for empowerment, like 1.5 hours. So you can come 10, have great breakfast, and then just relax and come over here. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Khenpos. Daga shashan ta sai. Ba? Peji da ke ruwa ka ko dai. Peji da. Sai da wanda da shi. Ah. Oh. La. You arrived today? Yeah, right. Yes. No, not much snow on the road.
That's the Vajrayogini.
Oh.
Okay.
She's the sky dancer.
But it's great teaching. Thank you so much.
referring to is that they're doing self-empowerment. They start out with self-empowerment, private ritual. Don't be in here alone. Do that. And
This is being recorded on YouTube, so if you want to go back later and watch it, go to our YouTube site. And it's even got captions.